Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And
Morning.
I'll make it a better morning.
Yes.
All I need is discussion. I think you all have come sufficiently enough so I don't have to lecture to you. And so if anybody wants to speak up about anything and draw me in, I'd be very happy to do that. In other words, just tell me what you're struggling with. You know, because you still may be struggling with, and sometimes you go backwards and forwards or you tend to lose what you've learned or discovered. The word is discovery, it's not learn, it's not an educational thing. Oh, what can I do you for?
Well, it's kind of like nearly every day I'll drink beer or wine or whatever I can get my hands on.
I'm not able, you're not speaking clear. I don't have a good ear. So.
Okay, I tend to drink too much.
Oh, naughty, naughty.
I know.
Isn't that silly? Why couldn't you tell me
Well,
that
I go
20
to,
years ago?
well, it's been kind of lifetime habit, almost.
No, it's not a habit. It's got another name to it. What do you think the other name is? Addiction.
Like I go to,
Addiction is, you'll never be, if you have an addiction, you'll die.
like
You'll die if you keep looking to that medicine or any kind of medicine when you really don't need to do this, when you understand why you have been sick for a long time. It seems to me I've known you for 40 years, at least 30, correct?
yeah, that's all right.
But you don't seem to have got any closer. I'm happy that you come. And, you know, it does take sometimes a lot of time to get to the point where we can discuss things a little further and make you better.
Well, I was kind of a wreck when I first got discharged from the military, and
what for?
an officer
Just give
gave me
a
your
clue.
record.
Huh?
An officer there who knew me gave me your record, the old,
Oh, yes.
and that's the first time I ever heard about you.
That's a long time ago.
No kidding. And all of a sudden, it actually did change my life in some respects.
But not good enough.
But no.
No, it just turned you in a direction.
Yeah.
But that's not the cure. In other words, you turn to, but then you get stuck. I've got to take you further. And you keep listening to me and drinking, keep listening to me and drinking.
Yeah.
It's sort of, it has a certain value.
Oh, yeah, I know.
But are we going to see what you really, what's really going on inside you? It's so simple. It's emotion. What is bothering you inside? Who are you getting angry with that's dead? Who are you angry with that's still dead, is dead? It's got to be a parent, or nearly always.
Yeah, my mother.
So tell me, just be
And
honest.
my brother, too, for
Listen,
that.
just be honest. Tell me what kind of irritations you have. Just give me the name of it. Give me something to help you with. But you're always so quiet. Always, you not seem to be open. And you come, years and years and years and years. And my wife is getting better because it's taken 56 years for her to understand it. But she lives with a husband that's, you know, I take care of her. I can't take care of you the same way. You're not my wife, thank God.
I'm too ugly anyway.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Look, look. You have a love of God. It's in you somewhere. Something is blocking you. Something is not letting you speak about it. Please help me help you. I'm not Jesus Christ, whereby I can stand here and you don't have to do anything and I can cure you. His presence was magic. If he wanted to cure you, and Roy Masters couldn't cure you, he can cure you. He could make it happen. I can only make it happen if you wish. I have a little bit of him in me. I wish I had more. Come on now.
We all have a little bit of that, only we have a hard time finding it.
Well, you know, you just excused yourself.
Yeah.
There's no hard time. The hard time means that you're struggling. You're giving me a clue. You're struggling. Wow. You don't know what you said. I got it. Now, are you struggling?
Yes, I am, yeah.
Yeah, it's no good. How many times have you heard me say, don't struggle?
Yeah,
The more you struggle, the worse you get. You cannot cure yourself. You cannot save yourself. That is impossible. Yeah. Everybody who thinks that way always dies.
What's the insanity is I struggle hard to stop struggling. And that's it. That's
But then
it's
you
crazy.
stop struggling and give in.
Yeah.
There's another side to it.
Yeah.
You can go backwards and forwards. And they're both no damn good. Excuse the expression. Come on now. Let's up with it. Cough it up. What in your life has made you hateful? And you cover that hatefulness up with being meek and sweet and gentle. So nobody wants to hurt you. Come on now.
No.
Come on out. Hello. Come
I
on.
don't know.
I can't even whistle anymore. Come on. Out with it. Who in your life go back a long way? Let me ask you the question then. You should have thought of this yourself. Did you love your mother? Or did you hate her?
It was kind of in between. I was.
Well, no, there's nothing between. It's one or the other.
Actually,
stop.
I feel.
Stop. I asked you a question. Did you hate your mother?
Actually, I feared her.
Huh?
I feared her. She was a
Fear
tyrant.
and hate go together.
And
correct?
My dad.
You're not hearing me.
He never stood up
I'm
to
going to
her.
lead you. You're not going to lead me. When I hear fear has come from hate.
Yeah.
So if I want to make you if I want to control you, I will upset you and make you subject to me, a fearful subject. All I need to do is get you to hate me. See? I know how to take a person and just, excuse the expression, piss him off. And just upset him a little bit. That's enough. I own him. He doesn't know that. I do. He becomes friendly to me then. He feels guilty. So he tries to overcome the guilt by being nicer to me. And I let him do it. That's one. Two, I upset him again because it wasn't enough. See, I know how to play the game. But because I know how to play the game, and it's horrible, I also know how to not play the game. And the game is being played over and over again in your... You see, it took all this time because you've been so quiet, sitting there sleeping and listening, very quiet. But today, I'm going to kick your butt. I am. You are going to get better today or you're not going to come back. I'm not going to be bothered with you anymore. I think, 30 years is enough. Now, let's start again. Today, I want you to get better. Right now, you can get better if I can get you to see what you don't want to see, what you enjoy. There's a hostility in you that seems to enjoy being hostile, angry. Are you angry with your mother?
Yes.
Are you still angry with her?
I was so emotionally drained. I can remember several times. Oh, all of a sudden, the room would get dark.
Say again?
I didn't pass out, but everything got dark, and then after a while...
Wait a minute. When did everything go dark? When your mother was being cruel to you?
Sometimes just by myself.
Oh. How long between the time between what she did to you and the way you reacted that way?
So, I mean, I realized even then that I was being drained of energy.
She was draining you. You were giving in to her, correct?
Yeah.
I'm sure she's not alive today.
No, she's long since gone.
I understand. Well, let's stay on the subject.
My dad was, in many respects, a decent man.
Never mind the dad yet.
He knuckled under
Go ahead then.
And he didn't help me like. He kind of tried to help me, but he didn't really.
Right. Most men like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
Most men. But you see, your father's dead too, isn't he?
Yeah. He'd be 100 years old this year if he was still alive.
Yeah. Well, we're not getting very far.
Oh.
I've got just as much, a little bit. It's not enough yet. We have a friend here that maybe can talk sensible to you.
Well, what I would like to suggest is for Bernie to create a dialogue with you, starting with what happened last night.
What?
Starting with what happened last night. We had an incident last night.
With him?
Mm-hmm. Yes. And this brought it up to where he's talking to you this morning. And Bernie, I'm going to give the mic back to you, and then you can continue that dialogue. So I think you should tell Mr. Masters what happened last night.
Maybe you can tell me.
I could very easily.
Yeah, I think you would make it nice and clear. He won't. He can't make it nice and clear. You can make it nice and clear because you are aware. He's not aware. He's mumbling. All he's doing is mumbling.
Okay. So I have my own residence on Tim's property. I have my own residence, my own RV. Tim and I were on the phone, and I could hear Bernie in the background, and he was intoxicated. So I asked Tim about this, and he said, yeah, Bernie, he's been drinking too much and stuff. So
speak a little slower because I'm not so good at
I
hearing.
apologize.
That's all right.
So I asked Tim if he's intoxicated, And Tim says yes.
Tim was intoxicated or him?
Tim and Bernie,
Both.
no, Tim and Bernie. Bernie rents a room at Tim's house. So Tim and Bernie are in their house, and I'm home in my RV, my home. Tim and I are on the phone. I can hear Bernie in the background yapping incoherently. I asked Tim, has he been drinking? Tim says yes. And I knew that Bernie had just gotten home from the evening. So I took a shower and got back. I called Tim because this was really bothering me that he was intoxicated.
Yeah. I know he drinks.
And I asked him, had he been drinking when he was driving? Tim says yes. So I said, I'm coming right over. I came over to the house and I stood in front of Bernie and I said, give me your car keys. And he tried to wiggle and squirm and excuses, I got to do this. And I says, I don't care about any of that, Bernie. Right now, in this moment, give me your car keys. He gave me his car keys, and I told him right there, tomorrow, you're going to tell Mr. Masters about everything here right now, that you've been drinking and driving, and that this has been going on for a long time. We've had an intervention for Bernie in the past, and it helped. Temporary.
What was the intervention?
Intervention of a group of friends got together and gave him an ultimatum between drinking and, I guess, our friendship, cutting off, that you have to, there's what do you call that? Repercussions.
As things stand.
Repercussions for your
actions. If I may
actions.
just stop you just for a minute.
Yes.
I think you all trying to help him too much. What you need to do is let him die. I mean that. Let him die. Bernie,
Yeah.
I'm going to let you die. And when you get to the other side, you wish you had listened to Roy Masters. Do it now!
God help me.
Come out. Come out and say what needs to be said. You coward? Or are you a coward? Are you still subject to your mother, your mummy?
Yeah.
You little coward. Why don't you become a man? Why can't you speak to me as a man to man? Get some balls. Excuse me.
Having one of the reasons I've never been married, I'm afraid of women.
No, nobody will. You're too ugly. Now shut up.
I'm afraid of women, really.
I understand that. Yeah.
And because of my mother, basically.
Who would want you? Who would want you in that state? You have to be just as crazy as you are.
Yeah, that's
Bernie,
about
listen.
Right.
Shut up and listen. And answer my questions. Do you still hate your mother? Do you have your mother's nature in you? Because your failing father, the father is the failing, but the mother is the doing. Your mother, sadly enough, didn't have a husband to correct her. It requires a noble husband. There are very few noble husbands. That does not mean that a woman is left high and dry with no future and no God. She can find it for herself. Every woman can find it for herself, especially when she's not married. She is equal to a man. Every woman who's married has a problem. And the problem is the extension of her father, of her mother to her. In other words, when you come into the world, the influence immediately is the woman. And the woman is broken. Generations of broken women, meaning they have the state of mind exactly as Eve. Every woman is Eve. And every man is son of Eve. In other words, he is the extension of what's wrong with her in him. And so therefore, see that therefore all the men in this room, all the men on earth have the same problem. They look to the women for fulfillment and love. All that is horrible lust. And it makes the woman hateful. She wants to love. She thinks when she gives herself to him,
How is that? I'm sitting here talking to you, and all of a sudden I had the feeling, the urge, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to go to the bar and have a beer.
You want to run
Isn't that
away.
amazing?
You want to run away. You don't want to hear what I have to say. Good. That is good that you said that. You want to run away from the truth. I'm in the business of truth.
It's kind of messed up in my head because in one way I do want truth, but then I flee from it, both.
Oh, that's naughty. You want the truth and you're afraid of it.
When I first heard you speak, it just really appealed to me, and but then
Bernie, let me see if this helps you. Stand up and come to me.
hold on.
I won't go to you, you come to me.
I'm a little tripped.
That's all right. I want to see if this is, what do you feel with this? If anything.
Yeah, I don't know.
Nothing.
No. Or very little.
There's no feeling at all?
No.
Go sit down. Go sit down. Bernie, do you want to die? I've been very patient with you over 40 years. Please, look at yourself. And you're still afraid of your mother. You're a slave of her. You feel you have a tremendous amount of guilt, don't you?
Yeah.
Tremendous. Why do you think that is? But the more you love somebody, in other words, I know you're a decent person, you want to love, you want to be kind and you want to be proper, but you don't know how that is.
I was totally chaotic. And one of the reasons that attracted me to the military, it put order into my life.
Say that again?
One of the reasons I was in the military and then the Oregon National Guard, it put order into my life. Because my whole being was chaotic and confused. And all of a sudden, now I joined I could see how many stripes you had on your sleeve. I knew where I fit in with you. I could be in. People took charge of me, and I took charge of others, and I knew exactly where I fit in because I knew how many stripes I had on my sleeve, and I knew how many they had. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I fit in, and I do not fit in with the world. I just don't. I'm a misfit or whatever. I don't know. I just like I don't belong.
Well, you kind of mix things up a little bit, but I know what you're saying. But joining the military does not make you a man.
No, but it did put order and discipline into my life.
But you got the wrong order.
I understand. It was
it's
imposed rather than from within.
No, so what was happening is you enjoyed telling other people what to do because you have more.
Yeah, I was a sergeant. I could tell people what to do. You're right.
That's correct. So you're in the position of your mother. It strengthened it. And the more it strengthened it, the more conflict you had. And the more conflict you had, the more mean or too kind. The other way around. But so which was it? Were you strong, powerful? Get up, lady. It's time to get up. You know, that kind of thing. Were you that kind of person, or you were gentle? So tell me. I want to hear you say that.
Well,
how did you live in the military? How did you speak to the soldiers? How did you discipline them? That might give me a clue. I know it was a pleasure to be over somebody.
I somehow realized that I really was a coward, and putting on my uniform gave me courage.
The power. That's not good. That is not not good at all. You join the army to be over somebody.
Yeah.
But not for the love of your country.
And to overcome...
Oh, this is bad. This is a bad thing.
My mother made me a coward. I was a coward before her, and I put on my uniform.
But you're also a bully.
Yeah. Now all of a sudden I was courageous because I was with people that were truly. In many respects, I met some people that were really admirable, and I wished I could be like them, but I wasn't.
But you look for their approval.
I've met a couple.
But you look for their approval.
Yeah, I met a couple of people that you would really call American heroes.
May I suggest you resented them at the same time? You got jealous. Listen carefully.
Yeah.
Listen very carefully. Ready?
Yeah.
So, you saw how decent they were, right?
Yeah.
And how strong they were.
Yeah.
And you looked to them for love.
You're right. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. And so they saw you, and you're a lovable person on the surface. But that's a coward. The coward is an appeaser. So you're in a position to have people that are stronger than you that love you.
Yeah.
It became like that. It's a typical thing in a difficult situation.
I wanted to be like them. They were like examples to me.
But you resented them.
They made up.
Bernie, listen. You resented them too.
Yeah.
See?
Because I resented my dad.
There you are.
He wasn't.
Come on now.
I learned years ago that one of the reasons both my grandfathers were alcoholics, and they did a lot of drinking.
Which grandfather? I don't know a grandpa that did. Well, it wasn't one.
Anyway, my father. One of the reasons I learned that my mother was attracted to him is he was not a drunkard.
Well, he's what?
Because the reason I never saw my dad drunk, and because when his father was at the bar drinking, his mother would say, send him there and with a daddy, please come home.
Just do me a favor. You're going in the wrong direction.
Okay.
We don't need to talk about all that. We're talking about you.
Yeah.
Your mother's still in you.
Yeah.
And you hate that. You hate your mother.
Oh, yeah. And I do.
Yeah. And you keep on hating her.
And
She's still alive in you.
Yeah,
She's still alive. She's living in you.
Yeah.
But hating his father made him like his father, right?
You need to just take that for a minute.
Oh.
Okay.
Hating his father made him like his father, right?
Yes. If he's an appeaser to the mother, he's going to be an appeaser to everybody. That's his nature. And I don't know what kind of father he has, but it would seem like she was in charge.
Yes,
and,
she was.
and the mother and the father, it was a failure, like all fathers. Every father, every man in this room, every man you'll ever meet, without them realizing it, because the women sometimes are so good at giving him what he wants, and she's going to get what she wants. If you see my face change a little bit. Yes. So most women either get angry, hateful, take it out on somebody else, or try to get the children to love her because she's empty. And she takes the life of her children by being kind and loving, but it's not real love. It requires you to look at her in a special way and give her a sense of fulfillment by your energies, your life forces, and you become an appeaser to your mama. And never become a man.
She's been dead for many
And
years, and she still
so
rules
you
me.
have been dead. You are dead now. You are a living dead. Have you ever heard somebody say a living dead?
Yeah.
You know what I mean by that. You might as well just go into a grave right now. It won't make any difference. Where is your longing? Where is the longing for purpose? The only purpose that you have is trying to overcome the effect of your parents, your mother.
Yeah.
And your father is a failure. He's a failure if he's a bully, and he's a failure if he's a coward. You're very much like him if he's a coward. Is your father a coward too? Because he never seems to save you from your mother. Correct?
Yeah.
He should have saved you from your mother.
He
But he
couldn't
didn't
save
know.
himself from our mother.
That's right.
So how can he save me?
That's correct. Now, we got the whole thing. How is it that, how old are you now?
74.
All these years, you've been hating your mother, and she's not dead. And she's not dead, and then she's dead, and you're still hating her when she's dead. You can't let her go. Why don't you let her go? What benefit is it to you? What benefit it is? It only makes you a drunk. Because the more, listen carefully, your mother is a drug pusher. She exists as a drug, and you're addicted to her love. It's not real love, of course. It's a sense of worth. It isn't worth anything. And so the more you give to her, and the more you love her, or more try to not hate her, and think of her in a better way, the more you try to appease your mother. But it's the same with all the women. Every woman will be your mother.
Yeah.
Every woman will be your mother. And you will always give in to them. And they can see your appeasement. And they don't have any value. They don't appreciate you. and take advantage of you. You're afraid of women, aren't you?
Yeah. That's one of the reasons. One of the reasons I never got married. I lusted after girls, but I was frightened of them.
All right. Now, we see the problem is very simple. Do you think your mother meant to hurt you? Question.
I don't know.
No, yes,
Deep
you
down
do.
inside, probably
no,
not.
No, you do know. Give me a straight answer. What did I just say?
She did. She.
No, what did I just say?
Did your mother? Oh,
Forgot it, right, didn't you?
see, I forgot it already.
Yeah. I forgot it too.
Did she want to hurt me? Well, yeah, I think she did. She.
How did she play her role?
She hated my father for his failure.
That's
but
it.
he was bigger and stronger than her. But I was smaller and weaker, so she could take it out on me.
In other words, your father was a bully.
Yeah, and he overcame her by overpowering her, not by loving her.
But I understand that. It's the same thing. You just said it in a slightly different way. He's a bully.
Yeah,
Okay, so since she's an appeaser to him.
yeah.
Oh, okay. And you resent your father and look to your mother for love because he's a bully.
Yeah,
Correct? Yes or no?
Yeah, yes, you're right. He bullied me too. He
Of course. Because you like your mother. And you go to your mother for love. But she isn't God. I understand it if you're a little kid,
yeah.
but not your age.
Well,
Now listen carefully.
yeah.
Can you let that mother go? Can you see that she did not know what she was doing?
I
There's
understand
not
that.
a woman on earth, or maybe a rare woman on earth. There's one sitting there, I know for sure. It's your lady friend.
Yeah.
And, but I'm afraid she's loving you too much.
She has been a good friend
What she needs to do
me.
is throw you in the garbage can.
She's been a good
No,
friend
she can't
to me.
help
but
it. She,
I understand. I know.
listen carefully. You're a stubborn bugger. You deserve what you got. You deserve to die because you're so obstinate. How many years have you come to me and say the same thing over and over and over and over again? Be a man. Admit that you hate your mother and add something to it. She did not know what she was doing. Every woman in every generation does not know what she's doing. She thinks when she loves her child, that's love. It's not. She wants something from him. And if she can't get anything, she'll hate him, hate the child. That's the choices. She'll hate the child because, especially if it's a boy, because she'll hate men if she hates her husband. Now, that's all the dialogue I can give you. What more do you want? Can you see that your mother is still alive in you? It's a phantom. But the phantom is not your mother. The phantom is a demon. You are demonic. You're giving your life not to your mother, but what was in your mother that she didn't know she had. Bernie, are you going to die the terrible death? Or are you going to find the beautiful future forever and ever? Amen. Do you think that being resentful and guilty because resentment always produces guilt. If you have any decency, you have guilt, don't you?
Yeah.
Or do you? Do you have guilt? You do seem to be sort of paralyzed on that question. Do you have guilt for hating your mother?
Yeah, I
Well, how do you get rid of that guilt?
by going to having a beer.
Say what?
By going and having a beer.
Yeah, I know. Isn't that ridiculous? You made beer your savior.
Yeah.
Don't come back. Ever. Drop dead. You deserve to go where you're going. For one, you can't give up hate because it gives you a sense of worth. But then the worth has made you worse. Every time you get upset, every time you give in to your mother, every time you give in to a woman, what you do is go along with them, never standing up for yourself. And they either love you, isn't he a nice man, isn't he sweet, isn't he loving? Or she's a bully. It doesn't make any difference. It's a woman. And she controls you by both of those things. She loves you or she hates you. But love is not good either. If you look for approval, you're looking to the wrong God. You appeasing mother, you appease women, you hate it, but it makes you guilty. And the guilt has anxiety. Every time you're upset, either with a real person alive or where the person is still dead in your head. Dead in your head. But what you got is not your mother, it's a demon.
Yeah.
Is that correct? And
That
the
is.
demon tells you to drink and to get rid of the pain of anxiety. And every time you drink, you're running away from God. You're giving yourself a sense of worthless worth. And you have lots of anxiety, don't you?
Yeah.
You have tremendous anxiety. And the anxiety is because you're angry at the woman, blaming the woman. She didn't know what she was doing. And you're the extension of a person that does not know what he's doing either. But you're a man. You want to be a man?
That's one of the reasons I joined the military. I wanted to be a man.
No, that won't make you a man. That will make you worse because they'll be supporting you in some mysterious way. You enjoy putting people down. And it gives you a sense of worthless worth. It's an addiction, another form of addiction. I know that because I've been in the military. And the British military wasn't very good. And I had sergeant majors, but not sergeants. He was an acting sergeant. He was a rude person. And he picked me out. And he screamed and he yelled at me. I didn't flinch. And the more I didn't flinch, the more I pissed him off. Excuse the expression. That is a good way of saying it. I knew what I was doing, but I had the ability to not react to anything he said. Yes, Sergeant. Present arms. Here's a guy. He gave him the rifle. Well, you said present arms. That was in the beginning.
Yeah.
Well, to take a long story short, I went to a dance when I came out, just one time. We have a nice place. It was nice for young people. The band and everything else. And when I went in there, I gave my $1, which is all I had. Anyway, and there he sat, and he looked at me, and guess what he said to me? "It's you!" He couldn't touch me. The more he tried to intimidate me, the calmer I got. But I still did the right thing. Left turn, left, right, fine. I do it because it's wise. It's appropriate. What he's saying I need to say, to do, but I didn't have to react to do it. And he wanted me to react like the others. The difference is, I never saw any warfare yet. I was in the military for 2 years. I was going to go to Burma. And you would never have seen me again. And one of the reasons why I'm saying this is I forgot. But what it is, let me jump to a good conclusion. What I didn't know I was understanding, which I've had all my life, without knowing I had it, is that you could not, I was so, how can I say the word is pure? That's not good.
Innocent.
I was so innocent, you could not touch me. But that innocent isn't weakness, it's strength. Innocent can be you, but it's not the same innocence, because you don't want to hurt anybody. You're just looking for love in all the wrong places. Yeah. See, and hating it when you get it, because it isn't what it's meant to. See, it isn't what it's what you want. So, no matter who you look for, and who you look for, and what you're looking for, and damned if you get it, and damned if you don't. If you get it, it's because you've appeased for it. And if you don't get it, it upsets you. And when it upsets you, you try hard to be a pleaser to get it. And that goes round, 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 round. Now, the nice thing about you, you're still here. Can we make this the last time? What do you say when I say, at this moment, something's happening between us? It can be. Where do you think I'm coming from? Am I an ordinary man, like everybody else? Yes or no?
No,
Can you feel? Can you sense a radiation from me that nobody else can see? Can you see it's not me that's speaking to you? It's never me that's speaking to you. God speaks through me. And on the opposite side, people, everybody on earth, there's always exceptions, rare. Everybody on earth have a different motivation, a different beginning. In other words, you love with love, but you don't love with lust. Every man born looks to the woman for love. That is the beginning of misery, and never-ending misery until you die. That's all. That's the beginning. If you love your mother in an appeasing way, remember when you're small, you have not much choice because you're a little kid.
yeah.
And you come into the world with intuition. where is the intuition in you now? I'm talking about intuition, but your mother, without realizing what she's doing, because the mothers never realize what they're doing. Every woman on earth is in a hypnotic state. But then there's also certain kinds of people who recognize that there's something wrong with herself. But that's rare too. It's rare because it takes a long time to suffer, to realize that you're on the wrong path. Your tendency is to give in to appeasement and think of it as love. You love your mother, and she loves you back. You love your mother because she loves you back. But a good mother doesn't ask you to love you back. She is the extension of love and does not want anything back for it. She just wants to share it with you. I'm like that mother because women can have the same beauty as men have, except they know their position if they're married. And if they're not married, they're just like a man. They have a direct relationship with God. But if you're married, the tendency is to want to have the man love the hell out of her. But the trouble is, she'd be better off being not married. She had a better chance of finding God. And if you find God, if the women find God, which they can, without a man, because she sees that whatever man she marries, they're all the same. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely.
And the women are all the same too, aren't they? But rare. And we have a rare one here, she just spoke. I'm not sure of everybody else in this, or the other ladies yet here. But you see, she's, how old are you now?
68.
You don't look 68. That's the reason why. How old are you?
I'm 54.
How are you doing?
Wonderful.
You are doing better?
Wonderful.
Now you listen to this, but if you don't come back, if you don't get well, I don't want to help you anymore. I really don't. You're wasting my time. I'm not going to pressure you. You either see it or you don't. And I'll let you go wherever you want. I would let my own family go. If they want to die, they die.
Mr. Masters, last night when I was talking with Bernie, I could feel this position of my femaleness. And I had this perception that it was kind of like I was playing the role of his mother. I backed out really quickly.
Yeah, you got it.
And I explained to him, I says, you will speak to Mr. Masters about this tomorrow. I'm going home.
Now, having said that quickly, you may have more to say. Just hold that for a minute. You don't need to try to help him. Let him drop dead.
I understand
May I
that.
suggest he's not worth it.
The reason why I took the keys is for other people's safety.
That was kind.
Other people's safety, not his. Whatever.
I agree.
He has to make up his own, whatever it is.
I
We're
like
not
that.
responsible for Bernie.
Yeah.
He's responsible for Bernie.
Bernie, you want to live or die? You have every human being has the gift of everlasting life. Every human being on earth, they just have to find what has come into them through the generations. And every family plays the same game. The woman is the control of the house, one way or the other. One way or the other. She's an appeaser, and the man is addicted. and she gets pleasure from that. And she's an appeaser that gives that instead of getting what I just said, which is a pleasure to her, she's an appeaser because she fears the man and emboldens him to get worse. That's it. There's no way out. There's no freedom. It's as simple as that. You are an object of that. You're the extension of it. You still have your mother in the failing of your father. Typical. You are never going to find it in drugs. You're never going to find it in alcohol. You only get worse. You're listening to the devil. Let me make you feel better, my friend. Just take some wine, drugs. So we rise, we wait with the anxiety, because every time you drink yourself away. You're rejecting God and accepting the devil, if there is one. And you will die. Everything will come blacker and blacker. I'm quite sure that the soul never dies. It lives in misery in hell. I don't know what hell is, but it's surely the opposite of heaven. There's an opposite. You got hell, you got wrong, and you got right. What is right? You won't find it on earth. You'll find it within yourself by being still. And the being stillness is only possible if you're longing to be worthy of entering the kingdom. Are you worthy of this? Did you have when you were a little child, do you remember, or were you aware with intuition? In other words, I'm speaking now about intuition. Intuition. You have intuition everybody has intuition when they come into the world. But what's in the mother, what mother carries, because of all a system of failing fathers. A system of failing fathers forever. Every man born of woman. That's it. Man born of woman has no authority. He needs the woman's love, and he's going to give into her to get it, or bully it and make her give him what he wants. And both are poisons. And you have that poison inside you. You are poison. You're addicted to death. You're looking for redemption. You're looking for God. You're looking for something. In alcohol? Can't you see intuitively there's something's wrong with that? Can you not see it? And if you could see it, you'd be horrified. You've been doing this for years and years and years. Look at you. I'm almost 90. You want to compare me with you? I could knock you all over the building. Take him on too. Excuse the expression, maybe I don't know that for sure. He's got a beard, that's why. Bernie, this is the last chance. Only I can give it to you. I don't know anybody else. Do you?
No.
Otherwise you wouldn't be here. You've been everywhere. And now you're here, but playing the same game with me. You're looking for my approval. Aren't you? You're not getting it, and you resent me too, don't you? Come on now. Do you resent Roy Masters? Yes or no? Be frank, be honest. I'm not helping you, am I? You're not getting any better, but you're coming here. Why are you coming here? Because you want to get better. Logic. But you never do. You make so therefore you have a resentment towards me. Correct or not?
Yeah.
Oh. See how nice and easy we can understand? Why are you resentment towards me? Does it make sense? You hate your mother in your head, but you don't love Roy Masters in your head. I'm the man that your father wasn't. And it's not the man himself that's speaking to you. It's God, it's the Jesus man. Just so you can say something. Jesus said something about that. I'll mention it several times. Why call me good? There's only one person that's good, is God. Only God has love. There is no love in the world unless it's a gift to someone in it. You will never find your answer anywhere. And if you find an answer that makes you feel better, and better, and better, and better, the less awareness you have of God, and the closer you are to the devil, and you won't notice it. And when you die, you get what you least expect. Hell. You're standing between two worlds. Standing in between two worlds, two realms. Good, that's not on this earth. Only in a person on this earth, that's it. And a person on this earth has to suffer in a proper way. Everything bad happens for good. The bad is good. Bad is good because you can't avoid bad. The human race is bad, mentally ill, not knowing they're mentally ill. But if you become like me, I awaken them. But it isn't me that's awakening you, anybody. It is him, a Jesus energy. A Jesus energy. Energy that where I exist, there's something about me just by standing here. You're used to this, what I'm about to say, but wherever I go, wherever I come into a party, a lot of people, they're immediately aware of me and don't know why. And others will come to me, and the others will hate me. The ones that come to me, that's good. The ones that hate me can't hurt me. The more they try to hurt me, everything bad happens for good, for those that love the Lord. You can't hurt me. You can kill me, but you can't make me becomes the extension of you. You can't control me. I will, with him inside me, control him. He either dies slowly or takes another look. Oh, he's different. I have authority. Having the authority is from God, and so the authority from God is, I can't explain it, but it's something about my relationship with the Creator on this earth that affects a person like bad people affect others, infect others with cruelty. A person like a Jesus, a person who has experienced him, and I have the extension, and so I can extend it to other people, not just only by words, the sound of my voice, but just by existing with him in me. Just like, so on the other side, people exist with the dark side in them. And so when they come together, he can't hurt me. The more he tries to hurt me, because innocence is very disturbing to the guilty. Very disturbing, the very fact that we stand next to each other. He will, just like Donald Trump, they hate him because he's real. Oh, we've got to kill him. You can see it. All the games that they play, all the secret lies. You can see that he's holding the ground and, excuse the expression, pissing everybody off. See? And so they're going to go, and so being strong is being not wrong. So that anybody tries to upset you, anybody, any situation, but your situation is in your head. You're still carrying a situation. You're carrying a situation. Your mother didn't know what she was doing. One of the commandments of the Jewish commandments, the 10 Commandments, they got other things too, but basically is equivalent to the Christian Bible. It's just 10 of them, 10 choices. Honor your mother and father, that the days may be long, that on the land the Lord God giveth thee. And it goes on to say some nice things. Those who survive it. Why does it say that? Why does it say it? Because whoever wrote that down, doesn't matter. It got to be printed and passing down to the generations. And then people will say, why? Why? My mother, she's crazy. Yes, she was. But she didn't know it. She killed you. But she didn't know it. She would kill you both ways. She'll hate the men. And if you're a boy and you come into the world, she'll hate you. Or if you're a boy, you come in the world and she'll weaken you.
She did both. She hated me and she weakened me.
That's it. Now you see, now you're involved with me. Now, can you see, Bernie, can you see that your mother could not help herself, nor any woman on earth can see what she is doing? She can get at some point where she sees what's going wrong with the family and the failing of her husband, and she can see that. And she starts to hate him or give in to him. And give in to him because you feel guilty for hating him. As if it could make it better. No. It's so simple, so complicated between men and women. If you're by yourself, maybe you have a better chance. But you're not. You have to be alone in the universe to be you. See, all of us experience a continuum of Paradise Lost. All the generations, all the women are Eves. Every woman is an Eve, waiting for the authority of a man. But how can you have an authority of a man when he's born of woman? Haven't you heard when you talk about the Bible, man born of woman? What does it mean? How else would you be born? It tries to remind you of something. Man born of woman is not the same as Adam was before he fell. So men must look. All men must look before they get married. And I hope people can hear this on the refeeds through the generations, hopefully. I wish they could understand this, that women cannot help themselves, or they can, as long as they don't get married too quickly. It would be very good if you had a good father. That's rare. And because it's so rare, when women get married, they think that here's a man. There's something in her that wants a man either for controlling him or to love her. But the man does not know how to love. And she wants love from him. And all she gets is brutality to upset her into giving in to him, or appeasement so she can get something from her. That's all there is to it. You're dead both ways. You have to come out of that system. You need to see this now. Do you see that your father could not help himself? Correct.
Yeah.
He was weak. Can you help yourself? What would happen if you married? You'd be like a feeble man,
Yeah.
and you let your wife screw your next kids without knowing she's doing it, because you leave her to that. And if you think you love her, and she will thinks that you in the beginning, when you start to get dated, it's not the same when you get married. It's all a lie. We're looking for love, and it's not there. It's not there in the woman because it should be in the man. But it's not in the man because she's born of woman. It goes round and round and round and round forever. And that's all that's wrong with us. We carry on. Man born of woman. It can only be that way. In the beginning, God says to Adam, because you've done this thing, so shall you become bonded to the woman as one flesh. See? And that's what you have. She's part man and she's part woman.
Dun, 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 dun.
Huh?
Dun, 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 dun.
Then, yeah.
Jeez.
And so therefore you hear psychiatrists say, well, we all have a little bit of woman in us. That's natural. No, it's not. I'm a man and you're a woman. Let's leave it that way. You're all screwed up. They don't know what they're talking about. You can't get happiness that way. You are a victim of that, Bernie.
Yeah.
Now, what have you learned from me? It's about time. Let me tell you, honor your mother and father, for they know not what they do. Jesus puts the other piece to it. It doesn't say it in the Jewish one because they didn't understand it completely, but they got a piece of it. Honor your father and mother in the days that may be long. It doesn't matter. Every mother and father is exactly the same with some rarity possible. I'm one. I've been 60 years, 64 years, or 65 years married. I'm a better man for it. I hold my ground. My wife is not strong enough. She has problems, and her problems get worse because she hates me because she hated her father. And she keeps hating her father and loving her mother that's created the father. See?
Then is it not true that the spirit that would be inside of a man,
Pass the mic.
Yeah, we'll just give you a chance.
then would it be true that the spirit actually that's inside of a man that the women are fighting is actually the woman's spirit that you're reacting to
Yes.
inside of a man?
Men are the extension of a woman. In the beginning, it was different. Woman came out of man. And that's the order. That can be an order to this day, if women can understand this and men can understand this, and not jump into sex and relationships looking for love in all the wrong places, in all the wrong people, trying to be right. And so that they give each other a sense of worthless worth. They can't help it. So the love of a woman is the destruction of a man. She loves him to love her back. When you have a person that loves you to love you back, I can do that. I can make a person get angry and then feel guilty. Because when he's angry, he's further away from God. And me being the devil, I understand that. So all I have to do is be cruel and hurt him and upset him from the background of his being, if he had it.
So in essence, as you spoke to Bernie today, everything you said to him, you said to me to the core of my being. And mine is food instead of alcohol, and instead of my mother, it's now on my husband. But what I finally see is that every pain that occurs in my life from this particular moment forward will be my own fault. And that I'm only fighting myself by giving in to the cruelty, because Kevin and I, we don't have a physical, so now he's becoming more mean, not physically.
Your husband?
Yeah, just words. And I can see the two selves that I never could see before. I don't know if I'm making this very clear. I'm free. You somehow I can't put it into words in this
You're not looking
moment.
to your husband for love.
Well, I have been.
Yeah,
But what I see right now is not only am I causing my own, because I'll sit there and I'll feel sad. How could he not? And now I see he cannot, and it's my own demon fighting that same thing that's in him to keep it alive.
Let me make it simple.
Okay.
I had it just for 5 minutes, it just went away, but I'll get it back to as best I can. You see, your husband doesn't have the authority to love you, only to use you, to give him a sense of worth. See? You see that?
I do.
In other words, man born of woman has no authority over you. Man born of woman a man born of woman is subject to her. And there's only two things that a man or woman can do with mother when they see it as intuition. The intuition shows the foolishness of it all. The intuition sees injustice where the parent does not see it at all. So you got only two choices: to rebel and run and hate women. And all goes over and again, looking for that man will look for a woman to love him or to control her to love him. But there is no love that way. See, there isn't. You're all stuck in the same rut.
In this moment, there's a little bit of sadness because because my whole life I was looking for love. So I see it very clearly, but it's a little
isn't
bit
anywhere.
painful.
Can you see it clearly? It isn't anywhere.
Yes.
It does not exist on earth.
Of course, because
It's within
of
you.
course.
But you
But
see,
it's a- but I'm-
when you came into the world, your mother got inside you. You are the extension of your mother, whether you like it or not.
Right.
If you like it, it's no good. And if you hate it, because you can't not like it, it's the opposite. You hate it, or you like it, or you need it. And it looks like,
Yes.
not the same. It makes you a slave. But you don't see that you're a slave. And the extension of who you are is affecting the children.
Of course, because everything you feel very justified because how dare him? How dare he not love me? How dare he not do? And I can see that. I can see it. I'm not sure what this feeling is inside of me. It's probably wrong.
Hold it. A man that does that is not a man.
Of course not. But he can't help it either. I can see him in this
But
moment.
you can't help it either.
I see that in this
You
moment.
both can't help it.
Exactly.
You both can't help each other. And you both hate each other.
Yes.
Because you can't get what you're looking for,
Yes.
because it's not there. It is, unless you become as a little child, you can no way enter the kingdom. You have inside you intuition, and you've seen the nature of mother and father, always bickering and creating bigger problems and dying without knowing what the purpose of life is. But the trouble is, that the minute you come into the world, even though you have intuition, which is still there, it exists, but it becomes re-existing again to see it. The more suffering you have, and the more suffering you have, drives you to say, "What's the meaning of life?"
Yes.
Or it drives you to become drunk, and drugs and everything that will take you away from realizing what's wrong with you.
Or fat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can I just ask, this is kind of a silly question, I can feel that it's silly, but I still just want to say it. I'm just a little sad. Maybe it's just letting that emotion go. It's kind of stupid, but I just felt a little bit
But
sad.
my dear young lady, I need to share with you, of yourself you can do nothing. The Father within you, He doth it.
No, I'm saying, I just feel a little bit sorry for
No, I didn't-
myself.
but I think you didn't hear me. Do
Right.
you mind if I just stay on it? Do you mind? What did I just say just now?
Of yourself you can do nothing.
That's right. Jesus said it, of myself I can do nothing, the Father within me, He doth it. It's the same with you. the Jesus that you're looking for is heavenly. But if you love what you read about, if you can see, and when you read the Bible, you don't learn it off by heart like mathematics, and then stand on the podium and to see how wonderful you are, because you read you know all the words in the Bible. That's the knowledge of good, which is not good. But if you read the Bible, and may I suggest you open the book, the Christian book, what's it called?
The New Testament.
The New Testament. If you go through the New Testament and open the page anywhere, don't start from the beginning. Flick, 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 flick. Oh, no. That's interesting. All of a sudden, a word jumps out. A sentence jumps out. Put that book down. It's awakened you, like I am trying to do. You come here one day, you catch it. You may not get it yesterday or the day before, but I get to say something that's in the Bible, or it's in my heart. My heart is my Bible. And I'm just reading, I see that. When you see it, if you read the Bible and do not study it, but flick the pages and wait for something to jump out on you, which is relevant to your beginning of heavenly journey.
As I'm speaking to you, that crying that just came out of me is the trick that happens to me. It just wants me to feel sorry for myself because its identity has been so embedded.
What?
The reason I was crying just a minute ago is my demon is a feel sorry for me demon. I always feel sorry for myself. It feels sorry
But
for
that self is not you.
No, it's not. And I see that right now, and very clearly I see it.
Don't be sorry anymore for it. It makes you be
That's
sorry.
because I could see a little bit of something feeling sorry for Bernie, but I can see that it's that self in me feeling sorry for him.
Everybody's the same. It's so easy. Everybody's the same, so you can talk about it, because everybody's the same. You don't have to go to school.
Could I just ask you if you could just look at me again? I don't want to make a big deal out of this, not any kind of performance. I can just feel it almost to the surface of being able to let go.
I didn't quite hear it.
I was just wondering if you could look at me, because I don't want to make a big production. I don't want to scream. I don't want to shake. I would just like to have a moment if you would look at me, because something is coming to the surface, and I was just wondering if I could just look at you for a minute.
Look at you?
Yes.
Like this?
Yes.
Oh. No, just kidding. You can be lighthearted about it.
I really am. I'm seeing a lot today, and I'm not identifying with it today, so it's not making me feel doom or gloom or that it has me. It's always been able to trick me that way.
What did you just say, though? Would you make it clear? You want me to look at you?
When you look at me, it's goodness, and it bothers something, and I just feel, I don't even know, I think it's just the acknowledgement of it, and it might not even have to happen here. I can just get in my car maybe and blow
What
it
would you
away.
want me to do? Just stand here, look at you? Mm-hmm. Hello. There's a nice person in there.
You know what? There is.
There is. Come out of her. Leave her alone. And leave her alone. And let her hear me from him. That's all. Feel free. You are free. Just accept the freedom of not judging. Let judgment be God's realm. The judgment is mine, saith the Lord. I pay back. You don't have to do anything. Just be tolerant to every bad thing you see. Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do. Everybody. Can't judge that. Understand? Understand that? Do you? Drop your judgments. Drop the judgments of your mother and your father. They couldn't help it. Okay? Come out, dark side. Leave her pure. Yeah, leave her pure. Come on. Not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal. It's just sweet. You've been living in the wrong way, trusting the wrong self. That's all. Trust what comes through me. That's all. Have a little smile. Okay? No excitement. Oh, yeah, keep that. Well,
Could you,
I haven't been well today, so I'm going to cut it short.
could you give me the branding iron there for a minute?
Come out, Santa Claus. Have a little fun. You'll be all right. Come on. Don't make a big fuss of it. Don't make a big fuss of it. He knows you're there, but don't react. Stop reacting now.
Okay.
Stop.
Okay.
You'll be fine. Just be aware of it and don't react, because he can't handle you not reacting.
Okay.
He cannot help it. Okay. It hates you.
Yeah.
Don't hate back.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. That's all there is to it. And we come back next week, we give you another shot. Thank you very much.